hope this isn't too scary a sight first thing in the morning. Not the usual face that you see. It's usually the little gingy git, RGA. But this time, it's me, Jess, doing the North Coast 500 in Scotland. We spent the night in Inverness. Pretty cold, but not too bad. At a campsite for tonight. Today we're going to head out, not quite sure what direction yet. I'll decide that a bit later, but bring you along, see how it goes. Hope you enjoy it. Now that I've had a cup of coffee and I'm a bit more awake, we'll do a bit of a walk around the motor, because everybody's seen photos of it, I think, and it's had a fair bit done to it the last year or so. So I'll show you where I'm living for the next, I don't know, week, 10 days, however long it takes me. I've got no great time limit on it, thankfully. Took redundancy from my old job, so that's afforded me a few pennies to play with and a little bit of time. So this was one of the things that I'd fancied doing for quite a while. Never really had the opportunity, but thought, bugger it, give it a go. Yes, somewhere around here. There's my dog. I'll probably fall over it now because I'm looking at this thing instead of looking where she is. Right, the motor. The back of it was kindly done by Steve of North Wales Custom Boot Builds. Good bloke. Tea, coffee, usual gubbins in there. A lot of spare camping gear, even though I've got the roof tent. I've got my landy tent in the back, which you can see up and over the dog guard. Only reason I brought that as a backup is if the wind picks up anywhere, because I'm on the coast, I can always turn the vehicle into the wind and put that on the sheltered side. Roof tent in the wind, possibly not the best thing. But for last night it was brilliant. A little bit cold, but hey ho, I'm in Scotland. Who's complaining? Quite a few people have asked about the paint job on this. Quite a few think it's wrapped. It's not. It is just a rattle can paint job that me and the son did. Rubbed it right down. Base coated it NATO green. Pinched a load of conifer fronds from my mate's garden, because he'd just done his garden. Well, he just bought his house actually. So we just layered loads of paint over it, different colours, and that's how it come out. Really chuffed. Just had new boots on it. Drooled over them for a long while, but yeah, love them. Nice big awning. The Easy On roof tent, which is second hand to me. Oh, you're going to get the sun in your eyes there. I bought off a mate of mine, and now I think regrets it, and he's probably looking to buy another one. Maybe not an Easy On, I think he's after a hard top one. But nah, love that, made up. Pack full of food. Got my fridge. Got my dog. There's a big fat lump, but she won't be after this week because she'll have the legs walked off her. And yeah, we're gonna head out, see where it takes us. I've got a rough idea where I want to go, but I've got no set plans, so I'm just going to make it up as I go along, and hopefully you'll come along and enjoy the ride. Right, I'll leave it at that. It's a shame the sun's pointing straight at the camera, because right at the back of that bit of a shrub that's in front of me is just snow-capped hills, and it's stunning, absolutely stunning. Not a bad view, eh? 3:30 now on Saturday. Where are we now? 14th April. Great day so far, absolutely brilliant day, up until the point where somebody on a touring motorbike decided it'd be a great idea coming across Applecross Pass, to come round a blind bend on the wrong side of the road, and he was at least 2 inches off my winch bumper. Absolutely terrified the life out of me, not because it was going to damage me, because I could have killed the poor bugger. Thankfully his mate following him had a bit more sense. He stayed back and he come on the right line coming round the corner, but that's one lucky man. If he hasn't gone home tonight and changed his pants, I'll be stunned. But apart from that, Applecross is beautiful. I'd love to show you a bit more, but clouds coming in now, so it's not as bright, and I've missed the best part of the road, but I had traffic behind me, so I couldn't really stop for that. But if you ever tempted to come and drive Applecross, do it. It's stunning. Liking this.
Look out. Yeah, you stink. You're all wet and now you want to lick my ears. Get off.
Well, we did call into Gairloch. We thought we'd have a cup of coffee and take in the sights of Gairloch. Gairloch shut on a Sunday. Everywhere's shut on a Sunday. Welcome to Scotland. But hey ho, managed to get some fuel. You find the odd sort of, well, what would be a spa by us, but their equivalent up this end. You find the odd one that's open, but on the whole, all your tourist information, all your cafes and that, at the moment on this side at least, seem to be closed. So hey ho, we'll keep on pootling round. We're going clockwise, so we're heading towards Ullapool, I think. We've had a couple of little diversions, but loving it, absolutely loving it. Bit of an update. It's Monday morning. Yesterday was a bit of a struggle. Woke up yesterday morning at 2:30, raging migraine. I do get quite a few of them. Unfortunately, it managed to hit me while I was away. So yesterday was a struggle getting anything done, but I still put some miles in. Stopped at the gorge, which for the life of me I can't remember the name. I'll have to update it, and we'll stick this on the video when it comes up. That was great. Couldn't do any filming at the gorge, unfortunately. This time of year the sun is still pretty low in the sky, and everything I wanted to point the camera at, the sun was at it, so all you'd have got was a blur. So unfortunately what you've got is my ugly gob instead. Managed to stop at a campsite last night. I was going to wild camp. Difficulty for me wild camping on this stretch of road, at least. One, with having the roof tent, and you do feel a bit exposed if you're on the road. And the second one is the safety of the dog. I've got Jess with me, obviously. Who's a bit bouncy, to say the least, and not the best if you're at the side of the road with the young dog, especially when she just wants to run and play. So, fell across the campsite by accident. All I saw was a sign for a coffee shop. By then, I could barely see the road map. My eyes were that bad. Pulled in. Wasn't just a coffee shop. It was a coffee shop, bar, and a campsite, and it was brilliant. Welcome stop. So, highly recommend it. I'll add that to the to the credits on the end of it, but that was the card they give me. That was the only information they have at the moment. It all looks pretty new. Lovely people. No restriction on dogs. If you arrive outside of the hours, there's a note on the door which just says go and pitch. If you arrive before 9 o'clock in the morning, it says pitch up, come back and see us at 9. If you arrive obviously late in the afternoon but before 5 o'clock, again there's another sign that says come back and see us at 5 o'clock. So by the look of it, reading between the lines, arrive whenever you want and just go and see them when you get the chance to. Really lovely people, very friendly, stunning sight right against the sea. Windy as hell last night, mind. Bloody hell did it blow. I didn't realise how bad it was until I got up this morning and I started sort of packing gear away, and quite a few of the campers come past and said, oh, we were all taking bets last night whether you were still going to be there in the morning with that tent. Oh, it was blowy last night. It was rocking our van, so it must have been rocking you. Didn't hear much, to be fair. I was that knackered, I slept through it. Shed load of painkillers, cup of coffee, and I was out like a light till about sort of 6:30, 7 this morning, and I just lay there for an hour after that. Brilliant. So this morning I'm on my way towards Durness, have a look, see what's up there. Probably head from there towards John O'Groats. Highlights of this morning so far was brilliant. I couldn't stop giggling. Car coming towards me on the opposite side of the road. Bear in mind this is all single track road with passing points everywhere, and this car suddenly darted to a stop in one of the passing points. A woman got out, dashed off behind a bank, obviously desperate for the loo, only seconds later to come legging it back to the car, adjusting her clothing with a herd of deer behind her, inquisitively looking to see what the hell she was doing. Happy days. But right, I'm going to tank on now, head towards Durness and see what else I can find. Hopefully bring you with us. Hope it's not too boring, looking at my ugly gob and listening to my voice, which I hate. So I'm hoping it doesn't do your head in as much. But I'll catch you in a bit. Bye for now. Thing you've got to watch out for, there was a sign on the gate as it come down, and the lady in the craft shop also mentioned that the cattle and the sheep will both come down on the beach. So if you've got dogs with you, obviously keep them under control and keep an eye out, make sure nothing's coming near. Today seems clear, there's nothing around, so Jess isn't too bad and she's close to the waterline. Absolutely stunning. If you're thinking of coming down, obviously I recommend it, do it. There's a small craft centre about 200 yards just before the beach, off on your left hand side. A couple of little craft shops and a chocolate shop where they make everything on site, with a small cafe, mainly cakes, chocolates, that kind of thing. No sort of meals or sandwiches and that, but if you're watching your weight, forget it. No chance. It's gorgeous, definitely is. Apparently the old buildings was part of a World War II early warning site, which was never commissioned, so obviously sat idle for some years, and now quite a few crafters are taking over. Glass, ceramics, that kind of thing. By the look of it, there's still a few units that are getting done up. There's only a couple open for now. That, and it's still early in the season, everybody keeps telling me. But well worth a visit, even if it's only for half an hour, and go and have a coffee and a cake. Well worth it. I think it goes without saying that there's an awful lot of military history dotted along this coast. Even today, if you're bringing dogs down, something I would bear in mind, as well as the cattle and the sheep, is the planes fly by. You don't tend to see them, but what you do hear every now and then is a bit of a sonic boom, which if your dog's quite skittish will make it spook. But yeah, stunning. Loads of history, well worth visiting. Right, welcome back. Just a brief note, Something that the lady in the craft shop said to me this morning, and I've just noticed for myself today. Fires in the heather. There's apparently over the last couple of days they've had about 3 or 4. Each one can spread for miles. Usually caused apparently by people throwing cigarette ends out of the car, probably innocently, but enough to start a fire. If I pan you around and you have a look in the distance, you can see one that's burning now. I'm hoping the camera picks the smoke up, but that's covering quite a distance. I must be a good 3-4 miles away from that, and if you can pick that smoke up, it'll give you some indication of how big and how fierce that fire probably is. Bear in mind, you've got cattle, sheep, loads of lambs. I've gone past loads of newborn lambs, the deer, not to mention property. So please bear it in mind. I know I'm preaching to the converted, but some people, unless you show them, don't believe you. But there it is. Right, I'll try and pick this up if I can. No doubt the sun's going to come straight at the lens, but it gives you an indication of how high we are. There we go. My groats. Maybe. All week so far, it's been gorgeous. Sunny. I get to Johnny Groats. It's freezing. It's misty. And yeah, you can't see much, but yeah. 33-year-old Land Rover, and we got to Johnny Groats. Not bad, eh? Right, I'm fine shelter because it's freezing. Bye for now. Right, Johnny Groats. The lady at the little kiosk that does the fish and chips has just said to me that the mist rolled in today. Well, started last night, but pretty much come in today. And apparently when the mist comes in, the last time it was really bad, it stayed for 8 days. And it's absolutely bloody freezing. So plan is I'll tank on round, hopefully get to a little bit better weather, but to be fair, I'm as far north as you can get on the mainland, so what do you expect? But see how it goes. But on the upside, check this out. Fish and chips for me and the pup. Just what every fat guy needs. Yummy. Right, update. Got to Johnny Groats, misty as hell. Couldn't see anything, absolutely bloody freezing. All the mist had come in and had done, covering for miles. Headed off towards Wick, still freezing mist come in. I get about 5 miles beyond Wick before it started to clear. And it's not too bad now, but partly because I thought I was paranoid, but I thought my clutch pedal was going soft. It's a 33-year-old Land Rover, and I know I'm tempting fate coming this kind of distance, because by the time I've come up here and gotten home, I must have done probably about 1,500 miles, if not more. But I've just stopped, checked my clutch reservoir, and I'm losing fluid. So, plan is now, because I don't want to go through the hassle of my clutch going and then having to be recovered from the north end of Scotland. That's not a good thing. It would take me days to get back with recovery. So what I'm looking at now is probably a 550 mile drive home.
I'll probably have to stop somewhere, crash for a couple of hours, probably sat in the car. It means cutting the trip short, and I'm a bit gutted over that because I really enjoyed it, even with the migraine and everything else. But like I said, it's a 33-year-old Land Rover. I was worried about the UJs going because I can feel a little bit of vibration, but I'm running great big knobbly tyres. It's lifted 2 inches, this thing, so that doesn't do the UJs any good. But with the extra weight I've got on it, that's brought the springs down a smidge. But even so, in the back of my mind, I know I'm tempting fate. But hey ho, I've done it. Fat old man, his dog, and a 33-year-old Land Rover has got to John O'Groats, and no doubt, by hook or by crook, I will get it home by probably early hours of tomorrow morning. It's probably going to take a lot of coffee or Coke or anything that's going to keep me awake. But I think that'll be my North Coast 500 over and done with. I'm about 80 mile from Inverness, so it's a pretty straight run on the A9. So my thinking is, I haven't got to change gear 1,001 times going down there, and once I'm on the motorway, I'm not too bad. So I'm not losing shed loads of fluid, but I had lost a fair bit. Enough that it's noticeable, and I can feel the clutch being a bit spongy. So all being well, it'll get me home. If it doesn't, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll last till I'm not a million miles away from home. So recovery won't be such a faff. But that seems to be at least this part of my adventure over. So all being well, I'll get home in the morning. My son will spend God knows how many days trying to edit whatever footage I've got on it. Case of me fit to burn, because I can't do the editing. I have to hold my hands up. I'm garbage with computers. Not a clue. Not in the slightest. So he'll probably sit there at the PC, casing me fit to burn. I'll keep feeding him hot food and tea and tell him how wonderful he is. And with a bit of luck, we'll get a video out to you. Hopefully it's worth watching. If you like it, please subscribe, like, leave comments. Say this is only the second time I've done any filming. It's normally our James that does the filming and the lads away, either playing with the vehicles, welding, or off-road. So this is a little bit different. Hopefully it's been entertaining, at least. Right, if there's any trials and tribulations on the way, I'll update you. But for now, very well. Right. Hopefully you can see this. It's still dark. It's now 5:30 Tuesday morning. Just this second arrived home. Hell of a drive. From when I set off the campsite this morning, I reckon well over 600 mile driven today. So, but I think I made the right decision in coming back. If I'd have tried to do that run in the daytime with the clutch losing fluid, if I'd have got stuck in traffic, it was bound to go. As it was, we sailed through quite quickly. No great problems. Motor tanked along brilliantly. I love this car. I absolutely love this car. 33-year-old, and it's just done, oh God, must be over 1,600 mile in just a few days. I absolutely love it. Love it to bits. Right, I'm gonna go in, have a cup of tea, go to bed for an hour or two, and then I'll stick my head under the bonnet and see what the issues are with this. See if I can sort out some of the rattles and squeaks that it's developed, but can't complain. It's done really well. Hopefully we'll get some footage out of this and it's not too boring, and we'll get it up over the next day or so. If you follow any of our videos and that, please, by all means, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe even. There's a few of us at the Adventure Overland show in a couple of weeks. So I mean, if you're going along there and you see us, say hello. Right, I'm going. I'm shattered. Go to bed. Goodbye all. I'll see you soon.